Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, we've got a special treat today. As usual, another first from the King of Firsts, Dr. Thor and Off-World Tech. I was the first person to hold a doctorate in what is called now force energy physics. The first to really have a occult science degree, doctorate. The first to have a radionics store in the history of the planet. And, of course, the first to put all ancient texts. We translated all the ancient grimoires, as well as putting together diverse traditions. The first, keep rolling. First person to really change radionics, use lasers and special sensing. No one comes close to what I have offered over the years, and you're a lucky dude that you're able to viewing this, and we want to thank everybody. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. That's the game that's played, and you should support us on Patreon and, of course, All Access, where you can actually see inside radionic machines. Another first. God, you're so full of firsts, Dr. Thor. It's amazing. So here we go again. This is a very unique product that comes from a company that's been active mostly only in Germany, where it has been, this company has been active. And this is part of the entire bioresonance, which was pretty much pioneered by Paul Smith. And I haven't read the whole book on this quite yet. I haven't had time, but I will inform people of that. And this company, Rayonex, which is now out of business and very difficult to get any of their stuff. Here's an old catalog of theirs, and we're going to put this up online for free. Follow the link down below, and if you want to see the old catalog. Of course, it's all in Deutsche. So the whole idea is that, but this company, which usually happens, particularly in Germany, is that this company was funded from public funds where they put together, and this guy built an entire little business park to build these bioresonance machines, which basically is nothing more, from what I can tell so far, nothing more but a complicated ripoff of Rife technology using frequencies. But we'll get into all that, and you can get yourself a nice machine for 15 grand. It's so typical of how the Germans do things, overprice it, get public funds, because there is no real competition from Germany, which everything is really based from governmental money. And the 1,300 businesses that own everything in Germany, who are controlled by their local organized crime. But regardless of all that nonsense, this is an interesting device. This you can see here, Duplex 2. This is the number 2 model. They've had this for a while. It's not in this catalog, but we do have other geopathic stress eliminators. Now, what's interesting about this, and from what I can understand, this has absolutely nothing in it again. These are all these kind of geopathic stress things. The shape tends to be what actually empowers it, which isn't unusual for geopathic stress stuff. But the bottom line is that I've had this up for a while. I don't really know what it does or not. We can, of course, go in there and do the first usual test. This is very big, so it's hard for me to hold it. But one of the things, of course, is we're now using our wood pendulums, rosewood. These are not only beautiful, they are much more sensitive than using metal or anything else. So does this unit have positive, negative, or neutral energy? So let's check this. I always like to go over the top of things generally. Let's see what this does. And these are so nice to pick up subtle energies with. I'm glad I've converted over to wood. And we can see it has a positive energy spin to it. It's hard to do these things while holding cameras and so forth. Let me put this on a stand. Okay. Yeah, let's do a little better, even though I'm closer here. Let's move this back here as much as we can. And let's do a couple other tests on this using pendulums. Let me use a smaller one here. so that we can actually test. Let's test it. You know, you can test things from different sides and everything else. And if you have the right pendulums, you can pick up different energies. So let's test the general energy that this is putting out in general, because we're testing what the energy coming out of this is supposed to basically balance any geopathic stress problems, 5G, all that kind of stuff. So what is the energy coming out at this particular area of this device? Okay, we're getting positive. Let's see if there's anything when we get lower down here. Now, if you're not good with pendulums, you better make sure you take my courses. We offer a lot of pendulums. We're offering these now with our special energy plates to sensitize you better, to make you a master person at pendulum use very quickly. But these are things you have to practice like everything else in life. Bringing up your sensing is critical to using force energy products. So let's test the energy at the bottom here. Positive, negative, or neutral. That's interesting. Of course, that's a good little. So we're getting neutral down here, meaning the energy coming in is being neutralized, and then it's spinning out of here positively. So that's very good. And again, if you test things on different places, tops, bottoms, sides, you should be getting a different types of energy checking. So that makes sense. Now, there's nothing in here. Again, geopathic stress is something that is very important to check in your house. And you can usually do this with L-rods, which I don't have one handy, or do I? Let's see if I can find one in my collection of huge amounts of stuffy. Here we go. Here's a nice little L-rod. This is a nice one, and we may be offering some of these as well. Let's see if we can get in the picture here. This is a real nice one. It spins here. As you can see, it has a coil on the front, and it has a coil over here to pick up. Again, everybody's stuck in the electromagnetic, which really is bad, and we'll be making things that can pick up really non-electromagnetic. But when you're talking about geopathics, there is a electromagnetic reality to it. But, you know, that's kind of kindergarten stuff, preschool. So the whole idea is that if you really want to test energies, they're not all electromagnetic. That's kind of a bogus way of looking at things. Very typical, plain scientific, ignoramus, buffoonish type of thinking, which is prevalent through, we can't blame the regular scientists, but we certainly can blame all those, quote, alternative people who are producing garbage. Okay, so this is something, and of course you have like this, but you can go around your house holding two of these, usually used. And we can test this right now in this unit to see if we can pick up. But you can find out if there's negative geopathic. And there are books on this, etc. We'll probably be offering some of these to our Patreon members as for them to access. But you can find information on this, and it has been found that negative geopathic areas, there are places where everybody gets cancer in. Everybody tends to die young. So, and this has been noted. There is a famous book done by a Frenchman called Houses That Kill. Very classic text that's very difficult to get. And this talks about how certain places are generating negative geopathic energies. And as such, is very detrimental to your health. So there may be spots in your house that are powerful. And you can go around with a regular pendulum. It's a primitive way of doing it. But you get a pendulum like this, and you go to different spots in your house and ask, is this a good energy spot? You know, is this a place you want to meditate in? Is this a place you want to set up your force energy machines, your radionic units? And that's important as well, because some people, if you set up in a bad area, your machine will not work well. So find a power spot within your house. Find out if there's negative spots there. Find out if the spot where your bed is at is good or not. And all of this is part of the using the abilities and technologies you have to really enhance your life and maybe save it. So don't underestimate geopathic stress. Now, people talk about this all the time, and I've been to many of them. Sacred spots, vortex spots, Sedona, Giant Rock, where I spent a lot of time at and spent some time in Sedona. All of these places are have a geopathic energy to them. Now, there is the electromagnetic, but what creates the electromagnetic is occulton informational energetic fields. They create electromagnetic. So going to the primitive fields is not how it works. And of course, I'm designing devices that work off of all these things as well. Anything can work off of the electromagnetic. But that is only a tiny bit of every functioning out there. And the reason why we've really never gotten anywhere while we burn fuel, while we have very primitive technologies, while we have electric cars, the ancients didn't use any of that stuff. And I'm still looking for the electrical cord connected to the pyramids. So the whole idea is that the pyramids, because they're working on informational energetic fields or occultons, actually generate the electromagnetic within them. So they're generating it. They are not accumulating it. It's important to understand accumulation and generation. You know, orgone, as it's done by Wilhelm Reich, accumulates. It draws the energy in, which is the reason why, unfortunately, it is mostly toxic. And when people mess with that don't know what they're doing, you're creating very much of deadly energy, or what's been called DOR by Reich. Reich, of course, knew this and was very careful to purify his orgone and do it in a very correct manner, unlike the kind of sewer trash that you get from orgonite that's out there by the devil man Carl Weltz, who created that. He was a known practitioner of Satanism and his buddies. So, but you have to understand all these things. If you're going to try to do positive stuff to help you, well, you have to know who you're getting stuff from and what are they dealing with. So, he's the inventor of Devilonics. That's really what it's all about. So when you're checking energy fields, you need to understand what is a generator, what's an accumulator. Now, so energies, geopathic energies, shoot up wherever you're at. So if you're in a sacred zone area or a vortex like Giant Rock, well, all sorts of interesting energies are there. And as I said, yes, there you can measure some of the electromagnetic differences there. But as I said, kindergarten, or not even that, preschool or preschool. What a tiny little brain someone has to think that is what runs the universe. Oh well, the world is full of buffoons. So the whole idea is that these energies come out. So people go to vortexes wherever they're at. They sit there, they put water there, etc., and try and figure out what the energy is. And of course, they tend to get bad electromagnetic readings, and meaning that there's really not that much more there. Maybe there's a little bit. But these are sacred places that people sense without a little meter. They go back thousands and thousands of years. They didn't have no meters back then, Dr. Thor, did they? No, they didn't. They had these they're priests. They're spiritual leaders who sense these energies because they had tuned into it. So you can go there, and of course you can draw these energies into it. You can do experiments like there I did many different types of experiments, including time travel, and these are places you generally see phenomena. Particularly you'll see lots of UFOs, extraterrestrial ships, I should say, since UFO really is a misnomer. So you'll see extraterrestrial ships there, and generally other things. So we just don't know what's going on there in general. But that's what all these sacred spots are about. And there's sacred spots all over the place. You can look in your own state, country, wherever it is, and find out where your spots are. It's fun to go there. It's fun to take equipment there. It's fun to charge water, bring crystals, do all sorts of things you can do, or just go there and meditate. Always bring with you your Polaroid camera that's been properly empowered and take pictures of it. That way you can take that energy home with you. Very important. Remember that regular photographs are virtually useless. They do nothing. Only traditional type Polaroids that have the actual chemical on the film, which the photons means the photons have bounced off that object, but it has bounced off and is returning not only light, it's returning the light energies into the film, so you now have a complete witness of it. Very important. A lot of fun. You can get these cameras any place. They're cheap. Make sure you get our actual disc that you empower the camera with. This dramatically increases the grabbing of the energy. And you charge up your camera before using it each time, and then you just go to town and do it. So, and remember that Polaroids are not supposed to look pretty. They are basically not very good quality, but you're not taking pictures, you're taking energy samples. Keep that in mind. So, all of that is very interesting and fun. It's always good to find these places. Generally, if you live near where there has been an Indian population, you can generally find that out. But, vortexes and stuff can be any place. It could be in the field next to you. It could be somewhere in your house. It could be in your cellar. It could be your backyard. You never know where these are. And as I said, there are positive energy areas and negative. Now, we live in a time where we're generating all sorts of frequencies in our home and everything else. Cell phones, 5G. It's the demon thing. It's demon. Watch out for the 5G. It's coming for you. It's coming for you. Well, I don't know how true any of that is. People have all these comments to seem to perpetrate an industry, but as usual, you're not going to expect regular population to give you any kind of proper tech. It just ain't going to happen. You're going to get the junk they want to push on you. So these are things that you have to check out, and you want to use the good and protect yourself from the bad. Now, we're working on some geopathic stress stuff, or we'll offer some on our, particularly on our website in the future. As I said, this is an old one, which is their second model, this is just copper, and I'm assuming it's pure copper. It's this particular shape that what's happening is it's drawing in, as we saw from here, it was kind of neutral because it's neutralizing it. It draws it in, it changes the energy and makes it positive as it comes out the top and then radiates around as we've showed with our... That's why pendulums are so important, and you've really got to get good with them. You've got to collect pendulums. We're recommending the wood pendulums right now. There's a place for metal as well. We have some of those there. But I much prefer wood because it picks up, now I do, because it picks up these subtle non-electromagnetic. When you use metal, you're automatically drawing in electromagnetic energies. And that's okay for lots of purposes. Like everything else, you need lots of pendulums, different types, stones, etc. We're going to be offering these coming up very soon as well. Now, the one thing you always do with units like this, or I should say generally, this one comes with a little jack in here, and this plugs right in here. Now, it is non-electric, but what you're getting, what is this? This is an actual grounding. So you plug this into, and I don't know how many people understand that, but your electricity in your home is grounded. Here's a cool little... amplifying cube here, which we'll be offering soon. This is a great little, this grounds. You plug this into your main point. Now, a lot of people don't understand that your electricity has 3 prongs. One of those usually is a grounding, and your electricity in general is grounded. You always do that. That's 101 if we're dealing with regular electromagnetic fields. You always ground everything that's electric. And for many years, and I may bring this back with my other machine, my new main dial machine coming out in a few months, is that you ground them. Because that grounds you into the earth, it tends to work better. But that tends to get into the electromagnetic again, so I'm testing whether that's worth putting on there or not. Nobody grounds their radionic machines anymore, and they certainly should because they are electromagnetic in nature, the older type. And we will be having one older type machine coming as well. So that's important to understand. So when we get involved with all that, every little bit helps. But if you're living with this 5G, with all your routers that are on, my router's on 24 hours a day. I can't believe this stuff is any good. I'm not sure how harmful it is, but You should watch your health, and if you can, shield yourself. But what are you going to do? Turn off your router? And a lot of this is ridiculous because you're being hit with everybody else's router. They're getting hit with all the cell phones and every towers. And all these things are putting out whatever these energies do. I'm not, certainly they don't seem to be healthful. Are they negative past a certain level? I don't really know quite yet, but having a bunch of diverse energy, that's why you have to wear stuff like your 8 hertz watch. This will balance you out, so any kind of frequencies that are hitting you will not bother you. And of course, you know, things like, because I wear both my watches, I even sleep with a watch on. One of these, which is much lighter and small, perfect for using at night to sleep with. So you're pounded with the positive life-affirming 8 hertz. And of course, you have these frequency bracelets as well. And I sleep with these on as well. So these are the type of things you should have so that you're protecting yourself. There are lots of Faraday blankets and stuff now. This is something you should look at. Faraday stops the movement of frequencies in you. They weave copper type thread into blankets, and you can use these. We're going to be showing you one of these in the near future. Another cool thing that if you're sensitive to it, find out. They're not that expensive. Sleep with it. Did you sleep better? Try it for a month or two and see how it works for you. These are mostly available again in most places, like Amazon, eBay, etc. So these are things that we certainly you should try, and we just don't know what the long-term effects are. Meaning the fact is, well, it didn't do that much for you, but how much are you benefiting from it in the long run? Did you not get sick? Did you get sick and heal fast? All of these things you have to look at. Not everything's a slap in the face, a punch in the head. Things are subtle as our body is accustomed to using, and as such, these things work in ways that are really hard to judge, but they could actually be saving your life. That's why I use everything. And of course, you need to have your basic desktop radionic machine you're using to balance yourself with our numerous discs that are be coming out soon, so you take care of your energy fields consistently. So all of that is part of the situation that we all have to understand. So hopefully people will see fast results from all these. But checking your house for negative geopathic stress areas, particularly where you sleep, where you're doing your meditations, where you're setting up your different devices, is critically important. So do check that out. And I'm hoping to have some. These are not even made now, but they are very expensive. We may find some of these used, like I found this one, and let you know about that. We are also putting out a lot of actual, I'm going through all of my old machines and stuff, and we are going to be selling some of those. Watch for that on the sales page. These would be great buys for everyone, so do keep that in mind. So what is there to it? So this plugs in, you've grounded your unit. This is just empty there. There's nothing in here per se. This is just a shape that is drawing the energy in, neutralizing it, and then sending it out kind of positive. So, as I said, these are very overlooked. I wonder if I have a copy of that somewhere or wherever it houses that kill. It's a pretty rare book now, and it was translated from French. Something that is very important for particularly researchers. This is something that tends to be overlooked with the actual practitioners out there. People are using their machines in bad spots. They're in a house that's toxic, and they wonder why they don't feel good. They get sick. Well, a lot of people in their family have died. You know, these are things you have to look at. If people are dying young, people are sick, well, check your geopathic stress. And if there is something like that, that can be changed. We're going to be putting out products for that as well. Discs and other things you can lay in certain areas that will change the geopathic stress. And watch for all those things coming in the near future. So all of this is critical. And you'd be surprised how these little things change your life, how you sleep better, how your immune system goes way up, and how you're going to stay well, or you're going to be the ones that survive and prosper if we come to more toxic diseases and everything else out there. So we always have to be on guard. You have to be very proactive. You can't do stuff and wait or try and cure yourself. The whole idea is to make sure that you don't have any problems to begin with. That's always the way. Preventative. Curing or changing energy fields is very difficult and problematical and has a fairly high failure rate. Staying well is the key to everything. So protect yourself now. Enjoy tech like this. And as I said, it's hard to say what's going on with this unit. I haven't had it that long, but it does seem to add to the positive energies. We'll report back and to everyone, and who knows, maybe some of these rare units will be available to those living in the United States, but sending this from Europe to you is probably going to cost a wee bit, but it's worth it. These are lifetime tools. These are things that are fun and interesting to have and could save your life in the long run. No one really knows, but certainly interesting technology as you get into all of this. But as I said, the bigger picture, and make sure that you're working on your dowsing skills. Do you have all the correct pendulums? And I will be coming out with a very detailed video course on dowsing that people will be able to access and train themselves in all these areas. If you can't dowse, you're not going to be able to use any of this tech very easily, particularly tuning radionic machines, which is one reason why we make energy plates for everything. Why bother with that? Let a professional get you the rates and then use that energy. It's as simple as that. And you can use rates and everything else with any of your machines, and we'll be offering these soon as well. But dowsing is critical. It's also giving you a higher sense relationship with your environment and this technology. So it gets you out of the dumb feelings that the society pushes you into, an ignorant, non-psychic, non-tuned in, because you have to protect yourself from the negative energies out there. This hurts your, quote, spiritual practices. So what you want to do is to make sure that you bring these sensing and feelings up so that you know what's happening in your life. You know what works for you. You know what doesn't work for you. All of this is very, very important to the bigger picture and how everything else functions in your life. So it's very important that you bring these energies up, and we show you how to shield yourself. And you can use pendulums to project energy with, and decide how much of a supplement you need, is something good for you, etc. So this is a very positive skill, and everyone should have several pendulums. And I always carry a pendulum with me if I want to check a food or a supplement and I'm out. Why not do that? Or check energy coming from a particular area. You certainly can do that. These energies are much more potent than you think. And if you're going to take something like a supplement all the time, is that the best one for you? There's a lot of manufacturers of supplements. Is that particular formula good for you? And you don't even have to buy it. All you got to do is put your finger on it on a computer screen, and you can get enough energy from that to determine if it is good or not for you. Of course, there's nothing like testing it physically, holding it in your hand for the ultimate decision, but these are the kind of things you can do. So you can go to the store and grab a particular supplement with your left hand, and with your right hand ask, is this good for me? This is a great way to test things, and if there are any retail stores anymore. So the whole idea is that these are the type of things you do with the sensitivity. But getting back to the energy that's in your home, well, that's really critical, and particularly where you sleep. So having a geopathic neutralizer, particularly under your bed, near your bed, under or near where you're doing any of your meditation, any healing work, any work in general, all of this is very, very important to check and very overlooked. And this is a big, big mistake. So again, everybody, watch the link below. We're going to scan this particular unit, this particular catalog, and you can check it out for free. As I said, all this stuff this is an old catalog on top of it. Here's a unit that I have as well, another energy neutralizer, and I will be showing that soon. But you certainly can get this for free, download it, and whatever you find interesting. It's always interesting to see what people are offering, and you can always while it is in German, you can always try and you can with Google Translate. You can translate some of the terms if you're really interested in that. So again, this is a Rayonex. Rayonex, as I said, from what I can tell, the corporation is Kaputi, and we will let you know about that in the general bioresonance, which we're going to talk about soon as well when I read this book, which is an interesting frequency using. This is, again, you're using frequencies, cycles per second energies. And so we'll have to. And, of course, that has its own little place, even though I'm not a big fan of it. There's a lot of instruments out there, and we just don't know their effectiveness. Certainly Rife, who pioneered this stuff, made a lot of claims for it. A lot of people have these machines out there. And you can, of course, get machines that are inexpensive from China. And, of course, there are very other ones. But we'll talk about that, which is completely different than this. As I said, this is taking your geopathic energies, the energies out of your home, and it is neutralizing them and turning your environment into a positive place. Hope you enjoy that. Remember, there is no reality until the manifesting scientist creates it. You become your own manifesting scientist and create your own reality.